Round 3 of the FIM Women's World Motocross Championship got underway at the Grand Prix of Catalunya. Race 1 was won by Steffi Lyer on the KTM from Larissa Pampamaya, Ellen Mann, Maria Frank and championship leader Livia Lancelot. Race 2 though, and again it was the little German on the Tekka Suzuki number 4 that got off to a flying start, but it wasn't long before championship leader Livia Lancelot was through and passed. Then it was a battle for the Germans. And it was the number 4 coming under pressure from 110, Steffi Lyer, who was victorious in race 1. Livia Lancelot tried to make a break for it at the front of the field and was being pressured all the way by her closest challenger in the championship, Steffi Lyer of Germany. Third, and having a great ride, was Larissa Pampamaya to go for that second place she had in race 1. But it was a win for Livia Lancelot. MX2, race 1, and Davide Goneri on the Monster Energy. Richie Yamaha got off to a flying start, but not as good as number 5, Rui Gonçalves, the man who was on form coming into this Grand Prix, having won the previous Grand Prix in Benelux and his home Grand Prix in Portugal. And he looked like he was going to cruise to an easy victory here. Meanwhile, back from injury, number 22 on the HDI KTM was having a good ride, Anthony Boissier in second position, and he brought with him Jeremy Van Horbrink on the junior factory KTM, Xavier Boug, Davide Goneri. Eventually 22 Boissier started to drop back. Up front though, Gonçalves continued to lead from Van Horbrink and Xavier Boug, and in the final lap that's how it was. Goneri was third, Prosser fourth, and Ken Roxon was hanging on there in fifth, but it was a win for Rui Gonçalves. MX1 race 1, and all eyes were on Tony Cairoli, but he didn't make a great start. That went to the number 7 of Jonathan Barragan, much to the delight of the Catalan crowd here. Behind him was Tony Cairoli and Billy McKenzie, and then Tony Cairoli took out Billy McKenzie and any chance of some decent points. Meanwhile up front, Barragan was on his own, leaving second and third to be battled out between Clement de Sal and David Philipparts. Cairoli started to charge back through the field and was up alongside Max Nagel, and that was for about 7th position. He then passed Gareth Swanepoel on the Kawasaki. Next man on his list was Josh Coppins, but it all went wrong for him. He tried to find a gap that wasn't there and ended up going down hard, possibly fracturing a rib. But it was a win for Jonathan Barragan. Could he repeat it in race 2? MX2, race 2. And Anthony Boissier, Ken Roxon, Jeremy Van Horvik, Nicolas Oban, Rui Gonçalves were the men just around first turn. Arnold Toh knew one of the riders going down at the back of the pack on the HDI KTM. Nicolas Oban struggled with vision early on in the race and had to discard his goggles. But Rui Gonçalves was ahead of Boissier and Roxon, the 15-year-old, in only his second ever MX2 Grand Prix. Oban battled bravely in 4th position ahead of Marvin Musquin. Gauthier Paulin, well, he had 16th in race 1 and was battling hard in race 2 after being bound down on the deck at the start. Then Gonçalves went missing and crashed out of 2nd position, handing that to the German, Ken Roxon, who challenged Boissier for the lead in the closing stages of the race. And it looked like he'd made the move pass, made it stick, but as he came down the hill, Boissier ran him wide, and Roxon would have to do it all over again. But it was a win and 3rd overall for Boissier. Van Horvik took the victory. MX1, race 2. And again, it looked like it was another flying start for Coppins, but it was Barragan and Nagel. Billy McKenzie was in there as well, so too Tony Cairoli. Billy McKenzie, though, found his way to the front ahead of Jonathan Barragan. He would make a mistake, though, and drop back. Coppins was in there in about 3rd, ahead of his teammate Philipparts in 4th. Then Philipparts made a move as Coppins started to fade. Tony Cairoli on his charge way through the field collided with Barragan. Barragan came off best momentarily. Then Philipparts and Cairoli resumed their battle. Billy McKenzie then crashed that way. He didn't crash out a second. He just made a mistake, handing 2nd and 3rd to Cairoli and Philipparts. Max Nagel was the leader at that time, but on the final lap he made a mistake, allowing Cairoli to take the race victory.